Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Beyond the Hot Flash podcast. Today, I'm super excited to have a wonderful guest with me on the show. Lora Caven is a multi-award winning entrepreneur and high performance coach who empowers individuals to live their most expansive and meaningful lives, fostering engagement, joy, and confidence. Welcome, Laura. Fantastic to have you.
So nice to be here. Thanks for having me. It's an honor.
Oh, awesome. And I just absolutely love your accent. It's always so nice to chat to you. I can just sit forever and listen to your voice. Okay, let's get started. Laura, your focus on supporting high performance corporate women through perimenopause is so vital. So I think to kick us off, could you share a bit about your journey? Sort of what led you to this unique and powerful niche?
Of course, no problem. So, as you know, I am a high performance coach and have been for many, many years and have coached hundreds and hundreds of high performing women all over the world. I'm also a certified positive psychology coach and advanced executive coach. And most recently, I had started to notice and just witness women burning out in front of my eyes, Andrea, and it was breaking my heart because they were walking out on careers, jobs, opportunities, businesses, and I started to witness the same patterns
Mm,
that were coming up, whether that was with corporate execs or
yeah,
business owners, or indeed just like every single
yeah.
woman at this age and stage of life.
Mm,
Um, and so I wanted to be able to support women more around
mm,
this age and stage. And so I started to research what it would look like to be certified in menopause coaching. I found a program that I accredited with, and I was going through my accreditation. And, I was walking my own journey at that time too. When I first emigrated to Canada, I felt super disconnected with myself. I felt lost. I didn't know who I
mm,
was. I didn't
mm.
know what had happened to that little firecracker that I used to be. And yeah, I was just feeling really really lost. It was the only way to describe it. And
Mm,
so I was walking my own journey with perimenopause as well and suffering some pretty horrendous like symptoms, and I probably didn't even connect the dots, if I'm being
mm,
completely honest. I was walking through my own journey, but what I was witnessing in other women was what kind of led me to menopause coaching. Then I was, through that journey, I've had my own troubles over the years with my own cycle, etc. And I ended up during my training having to have a radical hysterectomy, which was
oh,
like, you know, it was all part of the journey, and I'm so grateful for it. It was amazing because I get to coach these women from such a place of relatability and connection and understanding. And I know what they need and I know how to give them it. And I'm super excited to be able to do that. So it
yeah.
comes from like this wild kind of crescendo of events where I've got my
Mm.
coaching. I've got the compassion for women. I'm working with incredible women. I have a hysterectomy. I'm thrown into menopause, and I just feel like I'm in the right space, the right time, and it's exactly what I was put on this planet to do, to be honest.
I love that. I love that. It always makes a huge difference when you can identify with somebody else that's been walked in your shoes and
Right?
is where you're at, right?
Absolutely.
So key, that's awesome. So let's dive into the heart of it maybe. So there's a crazy statistic that suggests 1 in 5 women in the US, they quit or they downsize their senior roles because of menopause symptoms. I
Mm,
mean, does that resonate with what you're seeing in the work that you're doing? What do
100.
you believe is truly that number? Is it like 1 in 5? Is it that high?
Yeah. I've actually heard that 50% of women post-menopause don't
Mm.
go back to work,
Oh,
or they don't take the promotion, right? Or
mm.
they don't further their career. And I 100% believe that. I would go as far to say that I truly believe, Andrea, that
Mm.
menopause is the missing link in the glass ceiling. So if you think about it, up
Yeah,
until about
yeah.
director level, leadership is around 50-50. So we have that 50-50 representation.
Mm.
Beyond director level, it skews so heavily towards male dominated leadership. Now, It's no coincidence, in my opinion, that women hit the pinnacle of their career while potentially raising teenage, college age children, nurturing aging parents at the other side of things, balancing being the primary caregiver in their environment, and hitting perimenopause or menopause. Like, it's
Crazy.
no coincidence to me that it all becomes too much and something has to drop, right?
Mm,
One of those
mm,
plates that you're spinning drops. And more often than not, it tends to be your business or your career. And that
yeah,
just breaks my heart because
yeah,
if women are supported the way they need to be through that aging stage of life, they can completely thrive. They can become the most loyal, incredible workforce that you've ever seen. And if only more companies were to step up and support rather than to
yeah.
shy away from that, I
Mm.
think we would have a much more balanced leadership landscape.
Yeah. So these women, let's talk about that. They strive for high performance, and perimenopause introduces these intense challenges like brain fog, hot flashes, anxiety, self-doubt. So how do these symptoms specifically impact women in these crazy professional roles? And what are the struggles that you hear about?
So it's really interesting. I want to talk about this in two different areas. I want to talk
Okay.
about high performing women because I
Okay.
agree with you.
Mm.
Um, I've been that woman. I do keynote speaking. I work all over the world. I've been that woman standing on a stage, forgetting the words. I've probably done it like 3 times already in this podcast. I'm like, landscape. That's the word, right? Like, I've forgotten my words on stage. I've been standing on stage, Andrea, with blood running down my leg and not been able to move, and
God.
and and just thinking like I've lost all train of thought. I don't know. I've got an audience here. I don't know what I'm saying, what is happening. We are fighting a different fight. There's no two ways about it. And I truly believe that we're the first generation to be walking through this life transition. And it's not bad. I'm not making it like this huge negative, but we're
Mm.
the first generation, I would say, to be walking through this life transition while balancing the levels of business or career
Yeah.
that we are, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
our parents went through, of course they did. Yes, they had jobs, some of them didn't. But
Mm.
were they at C-suite level, flying globally around the world, presenting to boards in a male-dominated boardroom, like being the only woman there? Were they doing that? Some might have been, but the
Mm.
majority, I would say, were not. And now we're operating at a level where we are that first generation to be walking through this, and
Yeah.
women need supported through it. It can be the most glorious, powerful transition ever. And I feel like I'm just getting started. I'm so excited about who I'm becoming through this. And I want more women to feel that way. I want more women to feel empowered. The second piece to this is what I've witnessed more recently, Andrea, is it's not just high performing women that are like, hey, let me just back up a minute. We're all high performing women, right? What I mean by that is not just high performing women in the workplace
I
that are
got you.
going through this.
Yeah.
We're all high functioning, high performing women. And what I've witnessed is that everyone needs a space for support. And so while I've got my leadership programs designed to support women in corporations or running a business, I'm now just in the process of launching something more inclusive for everyone that's a much lower price point, that's a much more well rounded support system in community of global women that are going to understand how these themes that I'm going to speak to and teach around and coach around are going to create the most powerful chapter of their life. So I don't think it's just for women in business or in corporate. I think it's for all women. We all need this support.
Mm.
Does that make
Absolutely.
sense?
Yeah, totally makes sense. And I think I'm so excited to hear about what your offer is. Let's talk about that a bit later. I want to hear all about that. And I know the listeners will want something that they can take home with them and go, okay, that's an option for me. So I want to just quickly go back to the symptoms. So, someone experiencing, let's say, brain fog or a hot flash during a critical meeting,
Mhm.
what are 1 to 2 immediate actionable strategies that you can employ to manage the symptoms in the moment and maintain your composure? I mean, you standing there on the stage delivering a keynote, probably in some beautiful place in Scotland or wherever you go. And what do you do? What do you think? What is the suggestion here? Oh,
Well, honestly, there's like a couple of really super basic techniques that I would suggest. Number
mm,
one, for brain fog, every single day, hydrate. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. And I know that,
okay.
like, I know that you are specifically working with perimenopausal and menopausal women in
Yeah.
that health and wellness space. So I know that you'll know this, but for
Yes.
me, it's like hydration is number one. Um, if we're made up of, let's say, 75% water, and I'm not a medical expert by any stretch, far from it, but if
Sure.
we're made up of 75% water and we are 1 to 2% dehydrated in our brain, we're up against it. We
Yeah.
don't need any more barriers for around brain fog, right? So
Yeah.
hydrate, hydrate, hydrate is my number one.
Love that.
Electrolytes are my like best friend.
Great.
If I'm feeling like I'm struggling with my words one day or I'm super tired, the
Mm,
first thing I'll always do is just go get some electrolytes, big glass of water, always do
sure.
it, and get that into me. Second thing is take a breath,
Mm, talking my language.
right? Let's just breathe.
Yeah.
Let's just pause. Let's practice a little self compassion and understand that it's okay. You're not broken. You've forgotten a word. Big friggin' deal. Like,
Yeah.
the other thing I quite often do is just call it out for what it is.
Mm,
I've got brain
mm.
fog, I've got menopause brain, whatever. Like, why is it cute when someone's pregnant, when they forget their words to be like, oh, it's cute, it's baby brain. But why is it not cute when you're menopausal and you forget your words and it's like she's crazy?
Spot on. Spot on.
No, we
Mm.
need to change that narrative. And if
Yeah.
we're not the change, who will be?
Hmm.
So I call it out or I say it for what it is. I've forgotten my words. I'm human. Who cares? Like, no one's judging you.
Yeah.
Um, but the breath work, right? Just taking a pause and
Ah,
oh, it's all
yes.
okay. Like, we're not performing lung transplants here. We've forgotten our word. Woohoo.
Yeah.
You know,
You know,
one of my clients and I laugh about that all the time. Like, we're not performing lung transplants. We're delivering a keynote or we're doing a presentation or whatever the case may be. We're in a meeting. Unless we are in a high pressure, life saving situation, I don't think it's an emergency. So
yeah.
let's keep it in context. Let's not shame ourselves or anyone else for that matter and rally around each other. Like, we've got this.
Yeah.
Not a big
Yeah.
deal if we forget our words. I don't think.
Yeah, no, I love that. Be kind to yourself. I think there's a bit of vulnerability that needs to happen, and people tend to be a lot more forgiving, I think, if we open up and really talk about it. And for a lot of people sitting in that boardroom, if there are a lot of men there, chances are their wives are going through the same thing. So it's quite interesting. I love that. So we need to get the electrolytes in. We need to make sure that we're breathing. I love that. I'm all about breath work, yes. And I was actually thinking, is it wrong to say, guys, can you just give me 1 second? I'll be right back. Because when that hot flash happens, man, it's between the boobs, somewhere deep in your back and chest. I don't know.
Like,
And it like, yeah, it wells up. You actually just want to strip off. But yeah, or maybe it is just to take one breath to get out of that room, clear your mind and just walk back in. I don't know, but it obviously depends on the kind of meeting. But you're right, whatever that breath looks like, maybe it's just sitting there taking that breath. But yeah, great.
the other thing is like extend yourself the grace you would someone else. If
Mm,
you forgot your words in a meeting, would I judge you? No.
no,
However, we somehow think people are judging us. And
yeah,
I would turn that on its head and say, let's us not be the judgy people.
yeah,
Let's us not judge everyone sitting here thinking they're making a judgment about me. Let's assume we're in a room with kind people And
Yeah.
that if I forget my words, they're not going to be like going home and thinking about it. I'm actually not that important, right?
That's a that's a very, very, very good comment. Very good comment. I love that. Laura, tell me about things like, because I know this is really real, self-doubt and anxiety, right? It chips away at our confidence, especially when women feel less in control of their bodies.
Right.
So the mind shifts or practical tools that you would recommend for corporate women being in business just to maintain that leadership presence and stop the silly imposter syndrome in this phase. It happens. What are your thoughts on this?
I actually love imposter syndrome. Do you know what? I I do. Like the way I see it is
Yeah,
if an imposter syndrome is rising in my body, which it does frequently, right? Doing a podcast. Um, if imposter syndrome rises in my body, I'm like, brilliant, I'm in growth.
yeah,
Right now in this moment, I'm in growth. If something is scaring me, I am in growth.
yeah,
And so I try, first of all, to reframe, right? So
yeah,
if I'm getting imposter syndrome about being in a certain room or being invited to a certain meeting or whatever the case may be, I haven't been invited there for a reason.
mm,
Um, I've been invited there for a reason, and I'm just going to lean in and acknowledge the fact that I'm a bit scared and think, brilliant, like what an opportunity for me to lean in to this imposter syndrome and grow.
mm,
Grow
mm,
in this moment, like whatever that looks like. So reframing it is a good thing. The palpitations, the anxiety, take a
yeah,
breath. Breath,
yeah,
always the answer. Like, let's just reset our central nervous system. I invite my clients so often just to go to the bathroom if they have to, be 1 minute late to a meeting if they have to, and
yeah,
take 1 minute to do some box breathing
yeah,
and slow down their breath to
yeah,
to bring down the amygdala at the back of their brain, right? Physiologically reduce the size of that amygdala, which is blocking those messages to your prefrontal cortex, making it
yeah,
harder to focus, harder to make decisions, harder to be rational.
yeah,
Mindfulness is not mumbo jumbo, as you well know. It's neuroscience,
yep,
right? So if we can have a practice that shrinks down that part of our brain, allows those pathways to open up,
mm,
and we can in 1 minute reset ourselves.
mm,
That's a pretty powerful tool. And I would invite anyone to
yeah,
be 1 minute late to a meeting and arrive in that state than to be like a hot mess.
100%. Love that.
So, yeah, I would always say bring it back to your breath. The most simple techniques are
Mm,
often the most effective.
yeah, yeah,
Affirmations are great. Like, also, one thing I do for people who are struggling with their confidence is I make sure we relate to evidence,
mm,
right? So, like, for example, tell me something where you maybe get that like rise in like anxiety around something you might be doing or saying.
mm.
You think of an example that where that would happen for you.
For me, I think when things become overwhelming and I'm creating like for my business, it'll be like I look ahead and I go, oh my gosh, I got like 6 reels that I have to create this week, and my body's tired. I've been doing a lot of yoga. When I look at it like that, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know?
Like, can
Yeah.
I do this? Can I do this? Right.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
What is the evidence that you have around what you're capable of?
The evidence is I do it with no problem. When I'm in it, I do it and I actually feel energized after doing it.
Okay. So, like, one of the things I sometimes struggle with is I don't know how I'm going to do that, right? I don't know how.
Mm, mm,
But the truth I'll always anchor to, the evidence I'll always
mm.
anchor to is I can figure shit out.
Yeah.
Like, I actually can. I've been doing it my whole life. I might not know how, but I know I can. Like,
Yeah.
my evidence is I can. Your evidence is this energizes me, actually, or this is something that I do with ease once I get into the flow.
That's
So
right.
I like to anchor to truth. I don't
Love that.
anchor to speculation about my evidence is not that I fail. Neither
Mm.
is yours.
Yeah.
My evidence isn't that overwhelm overtakes me and I don't get out of it.
Yeah.
Can it paralyze me in the moment for a minute? Sure.
Sure.
We're all
Mm.
human. But have I made it through 100% of my worst days so far? Yeah. And that's like the evidence. So let's not anchor to something that's not even true.
Yeah. 100% thank you for that. That, for the listeners, is such a cool takeaway. Thank you for that.
For sure.
Love that. Let's talk about work-life balance. Yeah, I know. It feels like a myth. I have
Ugh.
this side
But
conversation of like, oh my gosh, what actually is balance? Our lives are so different now. But it's even more crucial during perimenopause. So, what are some realistic strategies for achieving high achieving women or non-high achieving women? I think we maybe need to get out of this. This is all about women.
we're all high
Yes,
achieving women. We are all high
exactly.
achieving women.
Exactly. So let's rephrase that, reframe it. What are some realistic strategies for women to create boundaries and integrate self-care into their busy schedules without sacrificing careers?
Hmm. Okay. First point, the balance thing. I
Mm,
don't I don't believe in it.
love
Um,
you.
I don't believe work-life balance is a thing. I think that if we're striving for that, we're setting ourselves up to fail every single time. The word balance actually means equal weight. Please show me a woman who can give equal weight to their career, their health, their relationships, their finances, their community, their friendships, like
No, no,
it's
nope, and
such
no.
BS. It's such BS.
Yeah.
So, what I like to look at is like work-life harmony.
Mm,
So if we think of like an orchestra playing, sometimes the strings are playing louder than the woodwind section.
mm.
Sometimes I'm trying to think of other bits. The percussion is coming through, right? Like
Yeah,
sometimes work is going to take more of you, and that's
yeah,
okay, as long as it's not all the time.
yeah,
Sometimes we're going to be playing harder in that department, and sometimes we need to show up more over here. Sometimes our health is going
yeah,
to
yeah.
scream at us, right? Like
Yes.
I like to think of it as harmony. Right now, I'm in a sprint in my business, so work is taking a lot of me.
Yeah.
That's okay. As long as I then offset and harmonize in other areas,
Mm,
and that I make sure that I get that re-energizing time with family or friends or whatever that looks like to fill up your cup.
yeah,
Or maybe it's just rest. Maybe it's
yeah,
complete rest. Maybe
yeah.
it's just, you know, right now I've got a lot going on. So one of the small things I do is just pour myself a bath every night before bed and put some
Beautiful.
lavender Epsom
Mm,
salts in it, right? Like it's not a big thing, it's not rocket science, but that's harmony for me.
yeah.
When I'm sprinting at work, let me just pour in physically to
Mm,
myself
mm,
and just take a beat, right? For
yeah,
other people, it might be let me get to that yoga class. Let me make sure that I am
yeah,
restoring in other
yeah.
ways. But I don't believe as women, if we're striving to have it all equally, we're going to do it.
I was thinking about it the other day, and I think since, we are empty nesters, um, there are days where Kev, he works in different time zones.
Mhm.
So dinner time could mean that every now and then he has to take a work call and his phone will ring and it needs to be a call that he needs to do or whatever.
Right.
And I think it's important, like, I give Kev the permission to take the call because then there's even less stress. And there are days where he's doing something where we would maybe usually be together and I'd be like, well, I've got to go to a yoga retreat for 3 days and I'm not going to be with you. And I think we need to have these discussions around perimenopause and the struggles of this balance, this stuff that's going on in our lives with our partners and
Mhm.
our children and whatever, to say, guys, I would love it if I had your support to say it's not going to be dinner at 6, this happens here, now
Right.
I'm doing work in all these compartments. Your beautiful phraseology of the harmony, I feel more in harmony when I'm supported by my family to say, Mom, we know that you also head down in your business for the next 6 months. That's the focus. And in
Right.
between that, I promise things will happen. It might not be at 6 o'clock dinner, but there's a lot of support and grace around that. I love the fact that Kev supports me in what I do and that we might not always eat dinner 100% together every single night, but most nights we do. But when we need to do certain things, we're giving each other permission to do that.
Right. And more importantly, are we giving ourselves permission?
Oh, spot
Right?
on. Yeah,
Like, are
yeah,
we giving ourselves the permission to put
yeah.
ourselves at the center of our calendar? Because 99.999% of the women I work with are running on empty because they are
Mm.
literally giving to every single person in their
Oof.
network. They are pouring out for their family, their friends, their career, their parents, like it's just all give, 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 serve, serve, serve.
Yeah.
And like we have no time to get into the whole good girl people pleasing mentality that we have
Oh, yeah,
to be. However, my support at this age and stage looks like putting yourself back in your calendar, like
yeah,
rediscovering who the hell you even are.
yeah,
Like, yeah, who the heck knows, right? When you
yeah,
hit that stage of life, like, who am I? What do I even like? What lights me up? How do I start to offload the emotional load that's on me? How do I need to speak up, say what I want to say, advocate for myself, create the boundaries, all the things.
yeah,
And once
yeah,
we get a handle on these tools and strategies, it becomes so much easier because it
yeah,
might be easy for you to have that conversation with Kev, might be easy for another woman to do that with their spouse or partner, but it might not be.
yeah,
And it might not be easy to have that conversation with their boss or their colleague or their parents or whatever it is, where the demands are just coming at you thick
yeah.
and fast. So, boundaries are a big part of it and
Mm.
a part of the self care, but not everyone knows how to create those healthy boundaries. Like, we don't need boundaries for the sake of boundaries.
Yeah,
We need them to support ourselves and to
yeah,
teach others how we are going to show up in this next chapter, what
yeah,
this next chapter looks like, and what the
yeah,
energy we're bringing. Because I don't know about you, but I feel different.
yeah,
I
yeah,
feel
I do.
like I'm excited about who I'm becoming.
Me too. I mean, can I just put it out there? I'm so excited after this podcast. I need to go pick up some weights. Love it.
Yes.
That's just like a whole different podcast situation going to happen there. But yeah, there's a lot of things to thrive, look forward to, etc. Absolutely. You were making a point about just in the workplace. Let's talk a little bit about how women can best advocate for themselves in the workplace regarding perimenopause. This is a big topic, and I think it's scary. So I am gregarious, outgoing. I can see myself being like, guys, listen here. Hot flash, give me a second.
Mhm.
Now, that is not absolutely everybody. I am that different person. So, what is your advice for approaching our managers, HR, or even colleagues so they can be supportive, understanding what is happening in the workplace. Are corporates aware of this stuff? Like you deal with as like, no, okay, tell us your stuff, tell us.
No, I think, and this is where I think we're failing women
Okay,
because we're not acknowledging this life stage
yeah,
in the workplace. Some companies will have a policy, right? In the UK, for example, it's a requirement, a legal requirement to have a menopause policy. I think if you employ over like 200 people.
mm,
Now, brilliant. What does that
yeah,
even mean?
yeah,
Check, ever written a policy? Do we actually embody it? Do we do anything with it? Does it mean anything to women?
yeah,
I don't know. Some will, some won't. But I think what means something to women is when they're heard, they're seen, they're
yeah,
appreciated, they're given a little bit more grace. Like you might be on the fourth night of no sleep. You might be on the fourth day of hot flashes and uncontrollable rage and tiredness and exhaustion. Like you're
yeah,
so tired, you're actually wired. You know that feeling?
yes, yes,
And all you need is a little bit of support.
yeah,
So I think it's hard to answer your question without like we could probably speak here all day, but
mm,
I think it's about just asking for what you need. But I think there's even a stage before that. It's like getting educated,
Mm.
understanding how to speak up, how to frame a difficult conversation so that you have a
Yeah,
framework that supports you and you know how to lay it out
yeah,
without it getting into a whine or a moan or
yeah.
anything like that. It's clear, it's concise, you know your boundaries, you know the language. Ultimately, Andrea,
Mm.
you know this,
Mm.
we teach people how to treat us.
Yeah, yeah,
So if we have the right tools to communicate these needs and to speak up with confidence and to understand how to frame an effective conversation, that
yeah,
helps.
yeah,
That helps a lot.
yep. Such good conversation, man.
How much
Tell
can you just like chit
I
chit chit?
know, like there's so many things that I wanted to ask you today. I think we need to maybe wrap it up, and I just want to thank you for your time. I really want to ask you though, where can people find you? I'm going to obviously put all of your details into the show notes. And then obviously in the YouTube description, it'll be on a podcast on Spotify as well in audio. Where can people find you? Where can we learn about your incredible work? And tell us more about Lumina. Like what are you busy with? I want to know about this and how can this help us?
So, like I mentioned earlier, I developed Lumina for women in corporate spaces or in leadership roles, running their own business, etc. So, that was very much a program that I created around witnessing what women were coming up against in the work environment.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's all we need. I think there's a space over here for us all just to be together in community, learning how to, reclaim our energy, how to bring our confidence back, how to ease that emotional load, how to say what we need, speak up,
Yeah.
connect back with who we are, make a bit of space to breathe,
Yeah.
like just all these things, like what even lights me up, what support do I need?
Yes.
Well, I think there's the two. I think there's the working woman, advancing women in work, but I also just think we need these tools in life.
Yeah.
So there's the two different ways that women can work with me in community in this really super supportive space of global women walking the same walk or in the corporate or
Mm.
business space. My website is just my name for now, loracaven.com. Um, and I'm really excited to also lean on your expertise and hopefully, bring you into a conversation where you can support some of the women in this community also. And I
For
just think
sure.
that we link arms and create collaborations in this space, the better. So I'd love to return the favor and invite you back into our community as well.
Yay. That would be
And
wonderful.
yeah, like I just think women doing great things together is always the answer.
Absolutely. Woman supporting woman, that's my vibe. I love it. Listen, thank you so much for your time. I know you're running off to the next thing. This woman is a global player, guys. I am so thrilled and so honored to have had you on Beyond the Hot Flash podcast. I will see you soon and we will link up again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andrea.